So one of the things that has been on my mind a lot lately has been how the king of his household abdicates his role. That's right. Men who are leaders in their household or are supposed to be leaders have completely abdicated their roles. Hey guys, welcome back to the Man of War podcast. My name is Rafa Conde, and of course, I am a man on a mission here to forge you into a modern day warrior, a man of action. All right, let's roll right into it. First and foremost, I want to thank so many of you who have been following us from the get-go. We are celebrating our 5th year anniversary here. Humbled, honored, and I got to tell you, I'm so excited about what's coming forth. By the end of this year. I'm just absolutely thrilled. It has been about 3 months since we come up with another episode. And the reason why we've had so many things happen here over the last few weeks. And honestly, we don't want to do this again. We want to make sure that we are bringing you podcast episodes every single week. And we are prioritizing this. We are making it our mission to get you new episodes every single week. All right. So we are officially in episode 183. Holy crap. 183 episodes, 18 million downloads later. And here we are still rocking and rolling because of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, before we get into it, I want to talk about the Man of War Crucible. It is a life-changing program for men who want to become the best versions of themselves, doing it in a very, very different way. Our goal is to take the old warrior culture, philosophies, mindset, the way that these men lived by, and bring it into today's world, right? Bridge that gap between the ancient warrior cultures and the modern way of life. We want to build stronger men. We want to build men who are action takers, who are living by this warrior's code, integrity, honesty, loyalty, being a stronger version of themselves, helping others, right? These are virtues that have been lost in our day and age, and I am here to bring them back one way or another. So one of the things that has been on my mind a lot lately has been how the king of his household abdicates his role. That's right. Men who are leaders in their household or are supposed to be leaders have completely abdicated their roles. They have decided to just hand it over to their wives, or for that matter, just completely disappear mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically from their roles. And we see this on a consistent basis. Maybe they're still physically there, but they're not leading a fucking thing. And it's confusing for me because as a man of action, as a man who leads his household, as a man who leads his family, I couldn't see it any other way. But unfortunately, what we see is that this type of man is the same type of man who goes out there and will not protect his family come hell or high water. That same man will talk a big game about his family, but in the end, he is not at all a leader in his family. He is someone who has decided to kind of disappear and completely be in a state of mind where he believes that his wife is going to lead his household, and he just kind of walks behind her with his shoulders down, heads down, rolled up back, and just kind of drags his tail behind her. I don't know about you, but that's not masculine. That is not warrior-like, and that is absolutely not what men should be doing in this day and age. Let me be very, very clear about that. Men need to lead from the front. They need to figure out a plan and start leading better because their household, their family is relying on them. That's right. Your family, your wife included, is relying on you for leadership. Now, most men will say, well, my wife, or a good portion of the men, I don't want to say most men, but a good chunk of the men will say, my wife works, she's her own leader, and so on. That's a bunch of bullshit. With that type of mentality, you will never be able to lead your family, and more importantly, you'll be the guy sitting on the sidelines getting walked on day in and day out. And boy, there's a lot of men out there like that. Your worth, your confidence level, your value, your status, what you bring to the relationship is important And let me say that again. It is a priority, not just a little thing, but a huge priority. So when men go out there and start thinking in this mindset of, well, I'll just do enough. I'll show up at home when I need to show up. I'll maybe hang out with my kids every once in a while, every blue moon. I'll have sex with my wife and that's just my life. In between that, I'll watch TV, be on social media, hit some porn on the side, maybe even a side chick. I mean, come on, how many guys do you know that live that lifestyle? Okay. The reality is that there are way too many out there that basically, in my opinion, are men without honor, men without integrity, men who don't have the ability to be faithful. And they lost that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. They lost that somewhere down the road. And they decided to abdicate their role as the king of the household because maybe they were scared or because it was too difficult for them. They didn't want to put in the time and the effort, or for that matter, maybe even the thought process. It was too much for them, right? And that's sad because we as men need to do better than that. We need to make sure that we are physically, mentally, spiritually sound and strong. Because, and I'll say this over and over again, men are the leaders in this planet, not women. Men are. Men lead from the front. Men protect. Men win battles. Men go out there and hunt. Now you can say to me, well, you got women in leadership here and leadership there. Well, that may be the case, but I will tell you this. Most women, they don't want to be leaders of shit. They're in that position because they were either two things. They were either somehow, some way, they came out of a bad relationship and they changed their mindset and they said, well, I'm going to do this now on my own and prove to the world that I can be a leader. Or the other side of the house is, maybe, they grew up in a fatherless home and all it was is the mama going out there to work. And that's all that lady saw. The mama going out to work, and women should work all the time and be leaders in their world. But I will tell you this. I have spoken to hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of women. So in general, women don't want to go out there and start leading the packs. They don't want to go out there and starting businesses or whatever. Yes, of course, you're going to talk to me about the boss ladies and things like that. Sure, man, look, that's the very, very far and few between. That is a smaller percent. But in reality, if I took those women aside, they're probably a good portion of them will probably look at me and say, yeah, I mean, if I had a man, a true man that could lead from the front, that could be successful, I wouldn't have to be doing this. Okay. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's not all women. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about the women that men really are attracted to, because I don't know about you, but I know that for me, a woman who is out there running and gunning and building companies and being the head of this or that, that's not really a turn on. As a matter of fact, that's a turn off. And I would say 99% of men will agree with me on that. 99% of men want a woman who can take care of their home, who can have kids, who can nourish and nurture him and the kids, right? Who can be a strong woman at home, who could lead her family, all right? Her kids, especially in ages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, my goodness, all right? And she understands more than anything that the man is going out there and hustling hard and becoming the best version of himself to bring home an atmosphere of financial freedom, of leadership, right? I'm a big believer that the father doesn't always have to be around. As a matter of fact, it's okay for the father to travel and do business and go out there and build an empire. And the woman needs to be completely on point with that, because he's out there making the world better and making his family stronger. When father is at home, when dad is at home, there should be some weight behind it. There should be like, oh, daddy is home, right? Because people will listen to you a little bit clearer. There's your presence at home should mean something. I see so many of these men who are just involved in every part of a child's upbringing. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with a father just being so involved in every aspect of a child's upbringing. That is what the woman is there to do. The man should be busy in business. He should be building an empire. He should have the time and effort, of course, put into his family because that's super important. Family should be a priority. But at the end, all right, you want to be able to give your family, as the king, be able to lead them and give them the financial freedom that they deserve, to give them the best education, to give them the opportunity to experience different cultures, to give them the opportunity to see you from a different point of view, right? Like admire their dad. Not just, oh, my dad's home all the time and he's micromanaging everything that I do and he's just on top of everything. It's been scientifically proven over and over again that your time as a father should have impact. And you cannot have impact if you're there every second of the day. You might not like that, but that is the truth. So with that said, being a king in your family does not necessarily mean that you have to be there all the fucking time. As long as the time that you are there is impactful, there is meaning behind it, there's purpose. That's crucial. So you're the king in your household. How do you lead your family? First and foremost, communication with your spouse. Knowing what each one of you is expected to do. Number two, right off the bat, communication with your children. Again, expectations should be laid out. And more importantly than anything is really being present when you are there. In other words, your job, all your empire building needs to come to a stop when you are with your family. I talk about this all the time in Redefining the 21st Century Man, right? We talk about mushin, the state of present mind, being there. Because I guarantee you this, there's a lot of fathers that are out there and that they're with their family all day long. Right? They work from home. They're here. They're just in their families up the ass all the time. Pain in the ass, okay, in my opinion. But they're not there mentally. They got their work at home. They're here, there, left, right, and they're just all over the place. No, you as a wolf hunter, you as a man of action, as a man of status, as a warrior-minded man, you go and you execute on your day. When you come home, you're home. You are there. This is why it's so important for women to have a peaceful environment when their husband walks in through the door. The last thing the husband wants to do, the man that walks in through that door, is have chaos. That's a big turnoff. You want peace. You want clarity. So when you're there, there is a sense of dad is home. There is weight, resounding weight, right? Where there's power in that entry into the home. And when you are there, like I said earlier, you are present. You eat with your family. You share time with your family. Disconnect from the day. And I know many of you will say, well, yeah, I can't really disconnect. I got business all the time. Bullshit. When you're with your family, you need to draw the line. Disconnect. You're not the president of the United States that's on call every fucking second. With that said, as warriors, we need to do a better job at letting people know around us what is expected of them. So one of the reasons the king abdicates his role as many times is because he feels that the people under his watch have not performed to the level where he thought they should. Execution wasn't there. So he feels his leadership may have been weak. But the reality is that he never, ever sat down with these individuals, with his children, with his wife, and shared expectations. Expectations such as school, such as duties in the house, the way that you treat each other, time, time to eat together, anything like that. Look, if you don't speak about that in your home, you're creating an environment where people are just running around aimlessly. So I would highly recommend that you sit down and you share the expectations, what's expected from everyone, including yourself. And then in private, you go with your wife and you share expectations. If you are the kind of guy that never laid that out before, what it's expected from her. If you want her to clean the house and to, make sure that it's spotless by the time you get home, smelling good with food or whatever it is, let her know that means a lot to you. That's an expectation that you have because you're going out there and you are building an empire to give her the life that she lives. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys out there that are not making shit financially. So they can't really sit down with their wives and say, hey, honey, you know what? I'm working my ass off for $15 an hour. So when I come home here, I expect the house cleaned. Of course, you're not going to say that because she's probably going to have to get a job too. But the idea is that you want to get to a level that you are the sole earner, that you are the income bringer, the builder, and your wife is the queen of that house and of your family. And she directs anything that goes on within that castle of yours. And that's the way a good relationship is built, right? With that synergy. But make sure as the king, you treat your wife properly, that you take her out, you spend some time with her, let her know that she is valued. Those are very, very important things. And words of affirmation are crucial. Bringing her down to the ground is not going to help you any. The same thing goes with your kids. And listen, I'm not a marriage psychologist. I can just tell you from experience what works and the way that the warrior cultures of old and bring these virtues and tenets to the table. Treat someone like you would like to be treated. Be faithful, be loyal. Be a man who lives a righteous life. That would go a long way, without a doubt. Especially, it'll go a long way for your kids to carry that with them for the rest of their lives. All right, guys, hope you had some great takeaways from this podcast. Listen, if you're liking this way of living a life, right, that really embodies the warrior spirit, I want you to do me a favor. Go follow me at Man of War with 2 R's on Instagram. Also on YouTube, go to youtube.com/Man of War. We're building that channel. We're bringing you videos 2-3 times a week. So I recommend that you go there and follow this movement. And finally, do me a favor, go to Man of War Crucible. That's MEN of War Crucible.com and check out that program. Right now, we're pretty much all sold out all booked up for 2023. But I believe now we're starting to open 2024. And it is not only a powerful program, but is a life-changing program that I recommend every man go through. All right, guys, until next time, your life may be challenging and full of dangers, but never retreat. Your last battle may be your greatest victory.